Hello, my name is Kenneth Ahrens, and today I'd like to open your eyes about North Koreans. Now, it has been made common knowledge that North Korea is unsightly and an inauspicious place to be. After all, it is a communist nation, the polar opposite of America's capitalism, and a prime contender for nuclear warfare. Now, this begs the question, what is life really like in North Korea? This book has the answers.
Nothing to Envy: Ordinary Lives in North Korea is a book written by award-winning journalist Barbara Demmick. She interviewed a total of 6 North Korean defectors to obtain the evidence of the North Korean lifestyle. Demmick takes us on a journey deep inside the country, beyond the reach of government censors, to a world Western eyes will never see. Until now. Demmick describes North Korea as the most repressive totalitarian regime in the world, and with the evidence he provides, it's hard to argue against it. There were no public signs of affection, and relationships were generally discouraged and, not to mention, socially unacceptable. In fact, there weren't even any love hotels found in North Korea, none at all, and in particular, anything sexual was generally repressed.
It took us 3 years for me and my boyfriend to hold hands.
Another 6 to kiss.
I would have never dreamed of doing anything more. At the time I left North Korea, I was 26 years old.
I didn't even know where babies came from.
Females couldn't even ride bicycles because it was seen as too sexually suggestive. And almost every marriage in North Korea was arranged because there was no dating culture. And that's not the worst of it. It was completely and utterly impossible for North Koreans of low status to improve, especially the South Korean prisoners of war who were brought into North Korea. Miran's father was one of those South Koreans. And despite the fact that Miran was incredibly talented, had a wonderful singing voice, and spent so much work and effort on her studies, she was eminently rooted to failure due to her unfortunate lineage. This is what is known as songbun in Korea, or tainted blood, where the sins and crimes of ancestors carry on. Songbuns are discriminated against heavily in North Korea and treated terribly.
See this baby? This baby's a songbun.
In North Korea, it was either work for little or no pay or detention camps. Pretty much everyone was broke, and especially in Chongqing, teachers were not paid for a year and children were on the streets begging for food. And oh, fun fact, pornography was strictly forbidden in North Korea, so any pornographers found were instantly executed.
Hey, what you doing?
Oh, I'm just watching porn.
Mortal guy!
Money was also incredibly scarce, and there was little to no shopping in private enterprise. That was strictly forbidden. That was a crime. But then again, there was no need for shopping as everything is provided by the government. Supposedly. However, there is a policy called Songun, or military first in English, so food provisions were given to the military first, but even then they didn't really get much. And especially when the North Korean economy went to shambles, so a simple bowl of rice was a privilege and a delicacy to eat in North Korea. Yeah, rice. Did you know that minor crimes like stealing food in North Korea gets punished with a public execution?
Peanuts for sale.
And they were executed in such a way that when they die bowing. And don't even think about trying to escape. If you get caught, it's an instant detention camp for you and all related to you. Worst case scenario, death. And don't even think about trying to trust anyone in this country because everyone's a snitch. The security relies on snitching. From children to adulthood, North Koreans were led to believe that they had nothing to envy in this world, that they were the best off in the world. But can you blame them? They lived in a secluded section of the world, cut off from ties from any foreigners or any foreign affairs. The only thing they knew as truth was their country, and what their country taught them. As children, they were taught to revere the leadership, and were led to believe that America was evil, gruesome monsters.
I remember when I was a teacher and all my students were starving. But I had to keep telling them how blessed they were to be in North Korea.
So hungry. It's gonna be alright.
Propaganda blinded citizens. All films approved into North Korea were dramas with similar themes, path to happiness with self-sacrifice, and capitalism with pure degradation. Oh, and enduring hunger, that's just the North Koreans' patriotic duty. No big deal.
Well, look what we have here. A North Korean. He's all skin and bones. Hey, how hungry are you?
But that is okay, because we have nothing to envy in this world, and I love North Korea, and especially our handsome and incredibly handsome Supreme Leader Kim Il-sung. Did I mention handsome? Kim Il-sung is very handsome, and I want his babies.
Really, the Supreme Leader was the only family you need. In every household was a portrait of Kim Il-sung. North Koreans didn't even celebrate their own birthdays. But do you know whose birthday they did celebrate? You guessed it, Kim Il-sung, Supreme Leader of North Korea. On the topic of our great Supreme Leader, there were many times when there was no electricity. That electricity, that could be used to heat homes, cook, light up the darkness. Oh no, that electricity was being used for a much better purpose.
Statue.
The Supreme Leader was brought up to be a holy deity, God, and he could do whatever he wanted to if he willed it. Or so that's what the people believed. And this God was to be revered and followed without question. To insult the great leader was the ultimate crime. He was just the ultimate power and authority. People even married in front of the Kim statue. And, when 1994 came and the great leader did pass away,
during this period, so many were overcome with grief that they had a heart attack or committed suicide.
Yeah, so basically brainwashing. From 1994 to 1998 is the North Korean equivalent of the Great Depression. Due to economic mismanagement and loss of Soviet support, North Korea was in shambles. The people were starving, more so than before, and seeing decaying bodies rot in the streets was a common occurrence. By 1998, an estimated 600,000 to 2 million North Koreans died by famine. Every day, bodies were carted away, and North Korea was a living graveyard. To survive in this dark era, people had to take drastic measures to survive. Measures such as eating undigested corn out of farm animal waste, or eating grass. Really, no one cared about rules anymore. Everyone needed a scam to survive. Scary enough, tales of cannibalism and child murder roamed the streets. It got so bad to the point that one shouldn't buy meat unless they know exactly where it came from.
My mother died of a heart attack when I was 3 years old, and my father abandoned me at an orphanage. In the first 3 months I was there, 27 kids had died. In this world, I found out that you have to do whatever it takes to survive. I found a stray dog and forcibly drowned it in a pool of water for 10 minutes. It was kicking and struggling, and obviously I didn't feel good about it. But hey, I gotta eat. I had to steal to live. What happened to others meant nothing to me so long as I continued living. My father always pestered me about stealing, saying, "It's better to starve than to steal, but you're no hero if you're dead."
Hey, that's pretty good.
In the end, the Workers' Party starved to death, and those who didn't care about the fatherland survived and made money in the black market. By 1998, everyone who was going to die is already dead. Oh, and in case you're wondering, The only reason this famine ended was because in the end, there were less mouths to feed. In North Korea, the grounds were generally poorly maintained. Trees remained untrimmed, stone benches cracked, paving stones missing like rotten teeth. By the mid-1900s, nearly everything was broken and malfunctioning. North Korea had fallen out of the developed world. By night, the country was shrouded in darkness with no electricity or lights. Yet in this darkness held beauty, a beauty whose imperfections were hidden by the night. People usually analyzed North Korea from afar. However, in the middle of this black hole, in this bleak, dark country where millions have died of starvation, there is also love. A love not shown in satellite photographs. For in this shroud of darkness allows for a cloak of invisibility and privacy. A cloak allowing for acts of love not socially acceptable in North Korea. When Barbara Demmick asked Miran of her happiest memories, she told of those nights. The nights she spent with her boyfriend, Jun Sung, cloaked by the watchful eyes of the country.
The nights of love.